Welcome to the SQL Server Daily Insights from Lucite. Now, if for some weird reason you find out that there is a SQL Server in your environment and nobody has access to this box, nobody has access to the SQL Server instance, then you have to figure out how to gain access to this box. So when you try to connect to it, of course, you are going to get the login is from whatever it is. That's not really what you're going to get, but let's say you try a different something account. Let's say your account is live site, and then you try in that account, and then what you're probably going to get is a login fail for that specific user. Now, this is the type of error that you're going to get if you probably don't have access to the SQL Server instance, or you maybe don't have a different type of maybe you have password issues or you have something related to your login. But in this instance, I don't have access, nobody does, and I'm going to walk you through the process of trying to fix this. The first thing you need to do is RDP into this box specifically, and then launch PowerShell administrator. So I'm already RDP'd into the box, but I will walk you through the process of doing that. So I'll come over here and I'm just going to RDP into this box. This is in somewhere in my home laboratory or in my home data center. Then I'm gonna be inside the box. While I'm inside the box, what I need to do is launch PowerShell, and I'm gonna run it as administrator. And the whole idea is I need to set up a script like this. What this script will do what this script is gonna do is it's gonna set this variable, the server name variable, to the default instance, and then I'm also going to use this in. Pretty much this is what I'm going to use as my instance. Again, I'm going to use the period as my default instance. This could represent the server name that I'm remoted into, or it is going to pretty much represent the default instance, which is the same as the server name that I'm remoted into. I need to create this login, which is the administrator of the same box, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop the service. So this is the Windows service, it's my MSSQL server for the default instance, and you can see that by looking at it here. So I'm gonna stop the service, and the service is this one. I'm gonna stop it, and then once I stop it, I'm gonna start the service with this startup parameters to only ensure that it forces this service to start and only accept SQLCMD commands. And what I'm gonna do with the SQLCMD command is I'm gonna connect to the instance, which is the default instance, and I'm gonna throw in a query during my connection. The query is gonna create the login, which is what I've set here, and the query is also gonna assign sysadmin role to that login. Once that is complete, I will stop the server or the service, and then I'm gonna start the service without any startup parameters that specify any specific thing, and then from there I'm gonna be able to remote it or connect to that instance. So first thing is I come over here, I try to connect, and I am able to connect actually. And the reason why that is the case is because I have already fixed this. but let's say I had not fixed it, so let me disconnect there and let me come back here and walk you through back the process of running into the issue and then fixing it. So I want to see whether I'm actually connected using that account before. Yeah, there it is. So first thing, I'm gonna kill that connection. Now that is gone, the next thing is I'm gonna drop this login. So the login is gone. So now if I come back here to demonstrate what I was supposed to demonstrate actually, so now you see I don't have that access. And at this point, let's assume nobody has access to this environment and you're trying to gain access and trying to figure out things. Probably the reason why nobody has access to this environment, it was as an environment that was maintained by a specific user who ceases to be a part of the company, and so now you're faced with this situation. All right, so I'll come back here, grab my scripts, get back on my administrator, and then I'll just throw those scripts right there. It is stopping. Of course, when it stops the database engine component, it also shuts down the SQL Server agent, and then when it goes ahead and starts it with the SQLCMD startup parameter and the F parameter, and then after that I run my query to go ahead and create that account, and then of course I stop it again, and now finally I'm just gonna start it back up. And there you go. So coming back here and trying to connect, and now I can connect. And if I wanted to start this component, I can go ahead and start it. But that is a summary of how you regain access to a SQL Server instance that nobody had access on. Pretty short and sweet. Thank you very much. If you know anybody who's having trouble gaining access to their SQL Server instance, then you need to show them this video. And if you want to learn more, stay tuned and keep following. Thank you.